welcome back to the channel. I was finishing up some client year ahead readings this evening, and I felt really guided to do a check-in for this full moon in Cancer that we have tonight into tomorrow, especially when it comes to the masculines and the feminines. Really interesting energy that's coming through for me. It has just felt like an energy of love, acceptance, excitement for what's to come. Now, not necessarily when it comes to my specific person, but when it comes to the overall energy of the year ahead, it feels really exciting. Um, I can just feel so much manifesting. I'm in this really joyful place. I feel like this piece is anchored in. If you guys listened, thank you. If you guys listened to what I shared in the last reading, I'll link that below. I was trying to articulate the shift that I felt with the new year, and happily, that has not changed. It just keeps getting better, where I just keep anchoring into more peace and more joy and forgiveness, but not forgiveness of like a need to forgive. It just feels like a very natural, loving energy of the past, of forgiveness of the past, and just really looking forward towards the future. I'm just really excited about the future and what's to come, not knowing whatsoever what that means. I feel like I've really released my person as much as he's part of me, as much as I still feel his energy, as much love as there is there. I'm not attaching my future to that person, or I'm not attaching my that person to my future. It just feels wide open. Everything feels wide open, and like anything can happen, anything is possible. That's just the energy that I feel like I'm in. It feels like a layer of surrender I've not yet experienced. It's not defeat. It is, like I always say, that place between trust and acceptance. That's where the surrender really feels like. But it feels so peaceful, and now it feels so joyful and exciting. So it's a very, very different energy than I've ever experienced. And I just want to say this too, really quickly. We're going to get to the reading. I'm not going to talk a lot. But I was saying to myself, I was on a drive um, going to an appointment, and I realized how much I was loving myself and how thankful I was for my counterpart for this journey, as difficult as it's been, as heartbreaking at times as it's been, for showing me these aspects of myself. You really are each other's divine mirror, and you really reflect back to each other the shadow and the light, the pieces of yourself that you can't accept or see for yourself just yet. And that's what this journey really does. It brings you home to yourself. It shows you yourself. It's reflected back to you in your partner. And every relationship that we have, whether it's family or friends or coworkers or whatever, even strangers on the street, are going to show us something about ourselves. Every relationship is a reflection of us in some way, but you and your divine counterpart is a deeper aspect of that. You are that one soul that are sharing energy with each other. That there is an energy exchange between you. You have energy exchanges with everybody in the world, right? Everybody that we encounter in the world. But between you and your counterpart, it is a deeper energy exchange, because you are one shared energetic field. You feel each other's energy because you are that one energy. Um, how do I put this? My job is to tune into other people's energy, so that I can provide them with guidance that they might not have access to themselves yet, that they might not be trusting themselves yet. So I'm tuning into other people's energy, and I'm feeling their energy, and I'm picking up on that energy. It's a little bit different when it comes to your divine counterpart. You are that one chakra system, you are that one energy, you are one soul experiencing life itself in two bodies. And so that's where you're sharing the energy. That's where you're really feeling each other's energy. It's different than just tuning into somebody's energy and feeling somebody's energy. It's very different. You're acting essentially as one. You and your counterpart. And so because of that, you're really mirroring back to each other. You're feeling each other's feelings. You're having that telepathy. And again, we have that telepathy with other people in the world, but it's a very distinct connection. And so what happens is you're seeing the shadows, you're seeing the light, and for a long time I was only really able to see the shadows, and I wasn't able to accept the light about myself. But when I can't even explain it. I was socializing with the ladies at the shop that I work at, the metaphysical shop. We went out for a holiday dinner, and um, I had made just a joke, and I realized everybody was like cracking up, and it just hit me. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm funny. And I don't mean that egotistically. Hold on. I really don't mean that egotistically. I mean that in the way of I had shut that aspect of myself down for my whole life. There was a time when I was a young child that I was open and free and goofy and allowed myself to just be this free spirited little girl. But over the course of my childhood and my experiences and growing up, I shut that down within myself and never quite opened back up. And so for me to acknowledge that about myself and say, oh my gosh, like, I really do love myself. Like, I really do appreciate myself. I really do acknowledge myself. It's not coming from a place of ego. It's not coming from a place of, conceitedness. It's coming from a place of self acknowledgement in a way that I hadn't never done before, an appreciation that I had never done before. I remember when I was visiting my alma mater at college, I was invited there to do a guest speaker role for my books, a book signing and guest speaker to the classes from a beloved professor. And we were walking to the library to give the reading, and she was saying, I really want you to speak to my students about your success. And I was like, I'm not successful, I said to her. Like, I think you've got the wrong person. Like, you need like a legitimate author. And she pulled me aside and she said, Susan, she said, don't ever devalue yourself like that. She said, I understand, your modesty and that's part of who you are. She said, but don't ever devalue yourself like that. And that really stuck with me. And over the course of this journey, I've been learning how to love myself in a deeper way where I can acknowledge my light. And I really, when I was on this drive, I really acknowledged that. And I was just saying thank you and feeling so much love and gratitude for my counterpart because I feel like without him mirroring me, I would never have learned how to validate myself. I would never have learned how to encourage myself or uplift myself. I would never have learned how to comfort myself and regulate myself. I would never have learned how to love myself and connect with myself on such a deep level. Um, and it's almost like it was harsh lessons and harsh experiences that showed me that, but I needed to learn that for myself. And I feel like now that I've learned that, I'm able to welcome in somebody who is encouraging and uplifting and loving me in the way that I want to be met with love, because that's the way that I'm loving myself. And it's the way that I don't want to, dismiss him because he is in very many ways my person. We are so compatible and I love him so deeply. Um, he is my person. He is the person that I have felt deeply connected to and always wanted. Um, and he is the person that showed me myself. And I do not ever discredit or deny the love that is between us. Um, I think I needed he as we experienced pulled away a lot and withdrew a lot. It was that runner chaser dynamic that a lot of us experience on this journey. A lot of that, it felt like a wall going up. It felt like the being pushed away in many ways when had that desire for closeness and that desire for intimacy, emotional intimacy especially. But I realized, you're doing this on a soul level together. And if he hadn't done that, I wouldn't have learned so much about myself. If he hadn't done that, I wouldn't have healed so much of my own anxiety, my attachment, my fears of abandonment, my self-abandonment. I wouldn't have healed my sense of rejection. So on a higher level, you're really doing this on a soul level. You're doing this together with your partner. as hard as it is, because of the experiences that you share and the experiences that you have that feel really heartbreaking and difficult to the human self on the soul level, there are purposes for it. And I just feel so much gratitude for him and so much love for him, because I can see how he was, in a way, guiding me towards this self love, towards this path of self love that I hadn't experienced before. And now it's like I'm open, where I thought that I was, but maybe I wasn't. I'm open to receiving a healthy connection, because I'm able to love myself in that healthy way now and acknowledge my love for myself in that healthy way, which means having healthy boundaries, which means expressing myself in a healthy manner, which means allowing my needs to be met, and asking for my needs to be met. um, I always say that partnership is two people. So it has to be somebody who is capable and wanting and emotionally available to meet you where you are. You have to be able to meet each other and communicate that with each other. Um, but you have to do the work that yourself. Each person's responsible for themselves and for their own work. And then you come together, especially in these partnerships, you come together at a certain point and you're able to then heal together. But like I said, 2022 was really a journey of individuation, where you were learning so much about yourself, where you were learning how to love yourself and connect yourself in a deeper to yourself in a deeper level. And so now it's like, when you enter a partnership, and 2023 is going to be the energy of partnership, when you enter relationships and partnerships, it's much healthier, and you're starting a new journey, you're starting a new phase, where you are more intricately in the physical realm supporting one another and helping each other. There might still be triggers, but you're more conscious of the connection, you're more consciously working together. You're not triggering each other for your self-healing. You're triggering each other for conscious connection. You're triggering each other for deeper aspects of what it means to be in conscious relationships. This is a new template that we're writing, but we had to clear out the old template first. And I feel like that's what the past few years really have been, this journey of self individualization. Even though you were doing this with a partner, your partner was mirroring that back to you. So now it's like you can enter that healthy partnership together, whether that's with your person or with, another partner. It's going to be different for everybody. Like I said, I have no idea what that looks like, but it's going to be a choice that you make together. It's going to be a conscious choice that you're making together to enter into that partnership, to enter into that relationship, and commit to each other in such a way that you are committing to consciousness. You're committing to that conscious connection and growing together rather than against each other. And that's what it had felt like. You weren't truly against each other, but that's what it had felt like because of that push and pull dynamic. Again, there had to be a lot of healing that was there. So I entered this place just recently, the past couple of days, where I just feel so unbelievably grateful and love, so much love towards my person, and excited about what the future holds. Um, and just completely surrendered. Um, just completely surrendered. Yeah, so that's kind of where I am. It's a really joyful, peaceful energy that I hadn't fully. I'd been anchoring it in space and integrating it in space, but it really feels anchored in and embodied now. It just feels really beautiful. Yeah, because what we've got here, we've got that self-love now. We've got that self-love. That's what this journey has been about. It's been about coming home to yourselves as much as it's been about coming home to each other. But your partner shows you what it means to come home to yourself. They are that divine mirror. And they've been encouraging you, even if it hasn't felt like it in the physical and the 3D, they have been supporting you. They have been encouraging you. They have been lifting you up. Because you are that one soul. You are that same energy. And so it might not have looked it in the 3D. The physical world might have looked very, very different from the energy that you were feeling, but that's where you needed to pull back the energy for yourself and love yourself the way that you were trying to love your partner. Give that love to yourself the way that you were trying to give that love to your partner. I just shared that with a client today as well. That's what came out in one of the readings. The way that you've been trying to love your partner, give that love to yourself. Form that relationship with yourself, that connection with yourself, because your partner is going to meet you there then. That's their job too, to work on themselves and love themselves and all that stuff. so that you guys can meet each other where you are. You're coming home to yourselves as much as you're coming home to each other. All right, let's see what's going on with regards to the connection. What's going on for the divine masculine with this full moon energy? What's going on with this divine masculine? What's going on for the divine masculine with this full moon? It's a full moon in Cancer. Wow, beginnings. Wow. I'm actually really shocked to see that. Wow. I'll tell you what. Wow. Interesting. The full moon in Cancer feels like a very emotional kind of energy. It feels like we've just got a lot of loving energy, and I feel like you both might be mirroring this. Again, last time we channeled that, you guys are on the same page, you just might not realize it. You're both manifesting each other, you're both wishing for each other, but you just might not realize it, and the physical world might look completely turned upside down, might look completely opposite from all of this energy, from the love that you might be feeling, that you might be experiencing, or from even, the way that this is all being channeled. It might look completely opposite, but tune into your heart space and trust your intuition as far as what you yourself are feeling, what's resonating for you, because the physical is not all there is. It's really important to remember the physical world is not all there is. There's a lot of heavy illusion, especially within the global collective right now. There's a heavy energy surrounding the global collective that's kind of making its way into these sacred partnerships, so that the sacred partnerships are getting kind of infiltrated and feeling this heaviness. But it's illusion, remember? So keep tuning into the heart space, keep tuning into the love. Don't cling to anything. Be in this place of acceptance and trust and faith and surrender and peace and joy and love within yourself, because your partner is going to be meeting you there. There's a very exciting energy. I just can't help it. There's a very exciting energy in the air right now. Like something's manifesting, something's being created. I feel like this might be even the divine masculine that feels very excited, especially with this beginnings card here. They might be feeling this energy of new beginnings as well. Something else happened for me where I really anchored into this feeling of safety within myself. Like I really healed the aspects of myself where trauma had been really persistent. So that I feel really safe and secure within myself. And what I just kept being told by God is that you're connected now. You're connected to yourself. You're connected to God. And it's like, no matter what, I know I'm going to be okay. So there's that sense of safety within myself that no matter what, I know I'm going to be okay. I know I'm guided. I know I'm supported. I know that I'm anchored into this energy of connection and love within myself. And so there is no abandonment. There is no rejection in that place. It's only love and connection. And so I feel like the divine masculines, that sense of safety is all like that root chakra energy. And that's masculine energy. And that could be your own inner masculine. But as you share an energy field, your masculine might be feeling that as well. And they might be picking up on that excitement of a new beginning and in a sense, creating that as well, or anchoring that in. So divine feminine energy really, what's the word? I'm sorry, I'm blanking all of a sudden. The divine feminine energy really is tuned in to the higher realm. She's really tuned into the energy. Her intuition really picks up on the energy of things. That's not to say that the divine masculine doesn't either, but the divine masculine is very physical minded, and they ground that energy in. So if the feminine energy has an idea, the masculine energy makes it happen. So the divine feminine's like, maybe she's like, I really want to do this, or I really love this as like a date option, or I really want to do this in my life, or something like that. The divine masculine is a giver. They want to provide, they want to give, they want to make it happen, and they make it happen. They're the active energy. The divine feminine energy is the being energy. She receives the intuition, she receives the energy. The divine masculine energy makes it happen and is active. So you have that within yourself as your own inner masculine and feminine with your own inner union. I feel like both counterparts are really anchoring into that inner union. And I feel like the feminine energy is feeling this excitement, this energy of excitement and new beginnings. And I feel like it's the masculine who's picking up on that as well within their own feminine energy. Again, their feminine energy is you. Your masculine energy is them. It's one soul in two bodies. Like you're experiencing this in two bodies for your accelerated ascension. Talk about this a lot. And if you're new to the channel, I have a playlist of twin flame truths, my channeling twin flame truths to really understand this energy dynamic. But I feel like the masculine is kind of setting a plan in motion. They're wanting to take action because they're picking up on that excitement too. And you might actually be picking up on their excitement as well. It seems convoluted because it's an energy exchange. You might be picking up on their excitement and their desire for a new beginning. They might be picking up on you're picking up on your intuition is saying, hey, there's a new beginning that's here. And so they're taking action on that. It's an energy exchange. I don't know how to explain this. That's amazing. There's a doorway that's opening. You see how I feel like your divine masculine is really missing you. Life feels really gray without you, and that's what's really motivating them for this new beginning. Because you see how it's all like kind of black and white and snowy and dismal, but here it's all bright. There's sunshine. It's very lush, the landscape here. That's what they're realizing life with you is. That's what they're realizing this connection is. And I feel like they've kind of walked through this barren landscape, but they had to do that. That was part of their journey. It's like they had to walk through that desert for themselves to understand that it's always been within them. The connection has always been with them. And you had to understand that first, divine feminines, by understanding that there is no lack. Even if your divine counterpart is not there in the physical, you're always with each other. The energy is always there. There is no lack within your connection. Union means that you're always in union. You're just clearing the illusion of that separation. You're never separate from each other. You always feel each other's energy. You always feel the love between you. You just, on this journey, had to clear up all that toxic energy, the trauma, the patterns, the old relationship patterns, the old programs, the old mindsets and beliefs that were keeping you in that energy of separation, that had you believing in the illusion of separation. You had to clear all that up. And that's where inner union is. It's that coming home to yourself. It's recognizing that you're always connected to yourself, to God, to your counterpart. That's the Trinity energy. And so I feel like your counterpart had to kind of go on their journey themselves to understand that very same thing. And it might have taken walking away from you. It might have taken separation in order to really understand that within themselves. There was a lot of pride here for this masculine. There was a lot of ego here for this masculine, not wanting to admit that because of their pride, because of their ego. But the more that they surrender to that, the more that they feel into their heart space and allow themselves to just not deny their heart anymore, it's like the more love floods through them and the more their life just lights up. And I feel like that's really what they're craving, is what I'm getting. They're craving that life again, because life has not been the same. Interesting. Really interesting energy. Divine feminine. What's going on for the divine feminine with this full moon in Cancer, please? What's going on for the divine feminine? It's too many. What's going on for the divine feminine? And that's too many. Divine feminine, so you have a lot going on. What's going on for the divine feminine, please? Attraction. I feel like, oh, and look, at the bottom of the deck, you have the masculine. We also have the hunger, and this is the wolf moon that we're experiencing, this full moon in Cancer. It's known as the wolf moon. And I feel like it's that hunger for each other. I feel, and I mean, not in like a grotesque way, but like just in this desire for each other, this opening of the love for each other. It's not to attach yourselves to each other in that unhealthy way that you might have experienced in the past, but just to allow the love to flow, just to allow the energy to flow without needing anything within the physical. Because again, you're connected to yourself, you're home within yourself, you're creating life and this journey for yourself. And you're attracting that in with a partner. but it's not needing. It's not, you're not, especially divine feminines, you're not chasing after anything. You're attracting that in. You had been in such an energy of chasing because that was your wounded self. And so I feel like if you're not here already, then you will be. But I feel like you're not chasing after anything anymore. What you seek is seeking you. What you seek is seeking you. What is meant for you will always be meant for you. So there's no need to try to control it or try to force it. And that's part of the journey that you've been on, allowing that surrender. And it's been very difficult because it's very difficult. We've been conditioned to control, especially as feminine energies. We've been conditioned to try to control. We've been conditioned to fight for everything that we have, especially out of fear of rejection or persecution or suppression. We've been taught that we're not allowed to receive. And so we've had to crawl and fight for everything that we've had. Well, now that paradigm has just been shattered. We've shifted into a new frequency. We've shifted into a new consciousness where we're more in our feminine energy, more in our feminine power. And so you don't have to chase after anything. You are attracting it. That's not meaning that you don't take action for the things that you want in your life. That's not to say that you just sit on your couch and wait for the doorbell to ring. You still live your life, but you take that intuitive action. You take that intuitive guidance. You trust the journey. You trust the process. You have such faith in the universe, in God, in yourself, that you know that you're always being led and it's always unfolding, and that life is always being created, and that you're a conscious creator in that respect. And so what you seek is going to be seeking you. You're releasing a lot of that fear. You have released a lot of that fear. And that fear is what had you in that place of control, that place of force, that place of attachment, that clinging to the connection, clinging to the journey, clinging to your person. And I get it because I was there. And it's almost like the shift in consciousness is so profound that it's hard to believe that I was there. I was there. I absolutely was there. But it's so profound now that it's like there's no going back. It's just this utter place of peace and surrender. And I feel like that's where you're being led. And again, if you're not quite there yet, you're breaking through to that. You're breaking through to that. Trust in the process and trust in yourself. There are new beginnings here where you're attracting in each other because you both want this. And if this is not the person that you thought it was, it is a divine masculine energy that is seeking you as much as you're seeking them. And I don't mean seeking as in like you're chasing after it, but that can feel your energy as much as you can feel them, where you're attracting in each other. If this is the person that was your specific person, then underneath the surface of all of the, for lack of a better word, bullshit that you experienced in your connection previously, all the separation, all the in and out, the hot and cold, the walls being put up, the withholding, the runner-chaser kind of dynamic, all of that is being eliminated, disintegrated, so that what's here is a new beginning for each other. Because you truly do desire that connection with each other. You truly do both desire that vulnerability, that intimacy, and that commitment to each other because the love is there. And you're both surrendering to that. You're both allowing yourself to surrender to that in different ways. Okay, so let's get a little bit for both of you. We're going to do how's the masculine feeling about the connection, how's the feminine feeling about the connection, and this feels appropriate, the cards I'm using. Okay. All right, how is the masculine feeling about the connection right now? How are they feeling about the connection? How's the masculine feeling about the connection? Temperance, Six of Wands. The Six of Wands is an interesting energy. What I'm hearing is, that's too many. I'm going to take that. What I'm hearing is, so the Six of Wands is after a period of conflict, battle, drama. It's the Five of Wands, which is conflict, drama, battle, competition. It's all those key words that are really like kind of negative in connotation, really heavy energy, kind of toxic energy. And we have the devil here and the Ace of Wands as well. I'm going to get to that in a minute, but the Six of Wands is victory, success, and overcoming of the battles. That's what this feels like. And with the Temperance here, I feel like they really do want balance. They want to mend the connection. They want to recognize the connection and honor the connection as it should be. I feel like part of this is that they've overcome a lot of battles within themselves. And that's what this energy really feels like here with the Devil and the Ace of Wands. I'm getting two messages here, really interesting. So the first message is that there was a lot of toxic energy, not only within the connection, but perhaps within this person as well. That's not anything that is like a blame. That's not anything that's a judgment. It's just there was a lot of trauma that had been unresolved. A lot of inner healing that had to be completed, mindset shifts, belief shifts, things like that, looking at things from new perspectives. There was a lot of toxic energy that was kind of holed up in this person, or toxic energy that was surrounding this person, but they have awakened within themselves. This Ace of Wands really feels like a new beginning. It feels like an awakening energy. And because they've been awakening, they've been healing a lot of this toxic energy. And that's what this really feels like. This battle has been overcome within themselves. And they are really just balancing that out. I'm getting a sense of tiredness. I feel like your person is tired because they fought so many internal battles. And Divine Feminines, I've said this for you. I say this for light workers all the time. This ascension journey is not for the faint of heart. And people who are not going through this journey, and even people who are not experiencing the sacred partnership, will not understand what it takes. Especially for those who are sacred partners, people who are not experiencing that path or not experiencing that journey will not understand what it is to see yourself in another person, to have that connection, to feel that spiritual connection with somebody, that feeling of home, and to be triggered onto a journey where you are almost forced to look at your shadows and to heal and to grow and to evolve, even when you're not feeling like you're consciously ready. Your soul knows you're ready for it, otherwise you won't be on this journey, but your ego is not ready for it, right? And that's where a lot of the resistance comes from. So I feel like your person is feeling tired. They might be sleeping a lot. They might feel called to sleep. Because I do feel like there are a lot of people that surround them right now who don't understand the inner battles that they've just fought. And so they might be feeling a little bit alone, is what I'm hearing. They might be feeling a little bit unappreciated. They might be feeling like there's not so many people who understand them or who are compassionate towards what they've just been through, who might not even be aware of what they've been going through. Divine Feminines, you felt that along your journey as well. And I feel like that's where you were trying to connect deeper to the Divine Masculine because you wanted them, you've been doing this with them. And so you wanted that validation, you wanted that connection, you wanted that appreciation because this is somebody that you've been doing that work with. Only your person wasn't quite aware of that yet, or wasn't quite awakened to it, and so they weren't able to give you that deep connection or that understanding or that compassion because they hadn't gone through that process themselves quite yet. They might have gone through awakenings, but not quite their ascension. Because Divine Feminines, you really lead the way as far as ascension. Understanding things from a much deeper level, connecting to yourself on a deeper level, connecting to God on a deeper level. The ascension journey is really shifting into higher frequency and higher consciousness, which means a shift in perspective and beliefs. And that means excavating all of that, what I like to call soul sludge, all of that toxic energy, all of the trauma. It means bringing all that up to the surface and cultivating more self-love in its place. So that's the ascension journey in a nutshell. And I feel like your person has recently gone through their ascension, or at least a layer of their ascension, and so now they can more accurately understand what you've been through. And I feel like they're kind of feeling a little bit lonely. They're kind of, especially if you're in lack of communication or separation. Even if you are in relationship with this person, they might feel very secluded and isolated right now. And that's because of the battles that they've fought within themselves, what they've overcome within themselves. And so I feel like they might feel a little bit unappreciated, but I feel like they're also having that recognition of how that's how you felt within your connection, within your journey, where you just wanted to connect to this person because of the experiences that you were having. You wanted to share your healing journey. You wanted to share all these experiences you were having and how you were growing and how you were evolving, but it felt like you were kind of shut out. I feel like your person is beginning to recognize that because they're kind of going through the same thing, and that's where you want to come together. That's where they want to come together with you, and that's part of this temperance card. Is not only are they healing within themselves in the quiet and solitude of themselves right now. It's very Four of Swords energy, but I feel like they're wanting to balance out the connection, and I'm also seeing they want to pour into your cup in a way that they weren't capable of doing before. They really want to balance out this connection here. I'm also getting an energy of a lot of passion coming through here with the Devil and the Ace of Wands, a lot of sexual energy. Sexual energy is not negative, at least not in this instance. And it's not toxic, at least in this instance. The energy that I'm getting is there is a lot of passion. They're thinking about you a lot. And they're feeling, again, this renewal of energy between you two. You might have pulled your energy back, Divine Feminine, but they're still thinking about you. You might feel like they're not thinking about you. You might feel like they've completely forgotten you, like you're not even on their radar anymore, like they've moved on, but they are, like, they have you on their mind. I get it. I'm there too. I'm just like, feel like it's done, feel like they've moved on, feel like they're not even thinking about me, but I really feel like here, this energy that they're giving me as far as the channeling, they are. They are. And they want this renewal. I'm also getting, there's this renewal of sexual energy. So if they had pulled back in the past and withdrew affection, withdrew love, withdrew, like in any way, I feel like there is this, it's like a desire. But again, that's not tainted with the paradigm of the past, God, let me talk, with what society thinks sexual energy is. This is sacred. That's the difference here. This is sacred, and they might have pulled back in the past because they might have been, maybe in a player energy where they didn't quite understand. For some, they didn't quite understand what sexual energy is. Maybe they didn't understand the sacredness of sexuality. For others, maybe they, I don't know, there's a number of different reasons they're pulling back from that message, but it's like there's a sacredness here. So it's not just desire as in like, sexual energy. It's a desire as in for the sacredness of this connection. This is a deep-seated soul connection, a deep-seated soul bond. And it's a sacred marriage. It's a sacred union. And so it's everything that comes from that, right? Including that passion, that desire for each other. And I feel like they're feeling that renewal of that, but in a sacred way, not in like a casual way. Okay? Interesting energy for the masculine. Not expecting that. Was not expecting that whatsoever. Okay. What's going on for the feminines? How is the feminine feeling about her connection with the masculine? How is the feminine feeling about the masculine and the connection? Three of Pentacles, the Six of Cups. She's kind of mirroring this where she wants to work together. She wants to create together. She wants this reunion. She wants this reconciliation. She can feel that. A long time ago, look, Lovers at the bottom of the deck when I stopped. I'm going to get more, but a long time ago, I had channeled the image of the statue at Burning Man. I'm pretty sure it was Burning Man, where it was like, it's the statue of two people facing outwards against each other. Like they have their backs turned towards each other, but their inner children are like reaching out to touch each other, facing each other, wanting to unite. And that's what this energy feels like. It feels like the illusion is that you have your backs towards each other. The illusion is that you're not on the same page, but in truth, your inner children, and not just your inner children, but your very souls are wanting to reach out towards each other. That's what this feels like. And because there's been a lot of inner child healing, because been a lot of reparenting of the self, a lot of mending and self-love here, I feel like there's this renewed sense of wanting to come together, where you might, divine feminine, you might have turned your back on the connection in some way. You might have been like, well, maybe it's not meant for me, maybe this is not coming true, and denying yourself aspects of this. I feel like in the depths of your heart, you really do want to come towards this, but you might be deceiving yourself or sabotaging yourself that this isn't possible because of what you're seeing in the physical. You see his back turned towards you. You see him not communicating. You see him, like in my instance, I'm blocked. Like you see certain things in the physical world, but that's not the truth. That's not all there is. And so I feel like you do, when you admit it to yourself, you do really want this collaboration, this creative partnership, this working together, and not working as far as like a career or business. I mean like this union, this coming together to create your life, this coming together to create a new template of relationship and love, to come together and create a new conscious connection, to create a new earth, a new world. You're feeling this energy, and your deepest desires for this energy, and I feel like you feel this union, you feel this reunion, and that's why you feel excited, because you feel this coming in. And it might not make much sense to your mind because of what it looks like in the 3D, but you can feel this coming in some way, shape, or form, and that's what you release. You release how you expect it to look, or who you expect it to be with, or whatever it is that you need to release. Everybody's going to be a little bit different. Yeah, Six of Pentacles, you can feel this balancing out. You're kind of mirroring your divine masculine here. You can feel this balancing out, but with the Six of Pentacles here, it's like you can feel this in the tangible. Like this is going to balance out in the tangible. I feel like they're working on the energy here to be able to balance this out in the physical, because Pentacles are very physical, tangible. Maybe by, taking you out or offering you a gift, or something meaningful to you, but something physical, something tangible, not just energetics. What I mean by this is, divine feminines, you've gone through a lot of this journey by trusting in your intuition, even though it doesn't look like it on the surface, even though it doesn't look like it in the physical. You've gone through this journey and trusting in your intuition and trusting in the love that's felt between you two. That has been your biggest challenge, is trust within yourself, trusting in the energy versus the data or the evidence of what the physical is or is not showing you. You've had to look beyond that illusion and understand the meaning and the trust of the energy that you're feeling. This is the balancing out in the physical world, the energy and the physical aligning, the energy and the actions aligning. And I feel like this is what the masculine is working on to bring this in. And again, they might bring it in a number of different ways. It might be something meaningful to you. It might be an outing. It might be some time together. It might be a date. It might be dinner. It might be flowers. It might be a gift. It might be a conversation. But it's something physical, not just the energy. That's what I mean here. Something physical and not just the energy. Yeah, Three of Wands. You can feel it coming in with the High Priestess here. This is coming in. Your intuition is telling you that something's balancing out, and not just in the energy field, but in your physical world. Interesting. Let's get, I haven't used these in a while. Let's get these. What does the masculine want the feminine to know? What does the masculine want the feminine to know? Okay, what's this? Sexual freedom. That's exactly what I was talking about. This is a blossoming of the sacredness of your union. And when we're talking about sexual freedom, when we're talking about sacred sexuality, it is about not just the energetic union, but the physical union. That's what is meant by the alchemical marriage. It's not just sex for sex's sake. It's not just a physical act, it is the energetic and the physical realm merging in that sacredness. And look at the two of you together, that blossoming energy. That's what we're talking about here. That's what I feel is that desire. That's what they desire. It's not, again, sex for sex's sake. It is committing to you, honoring each other, coming together in the sacred way. The physical and the energetic merging as one. All right, tell me more about the feminine. What does the feminine want to say to... Oh, okay. I wasn't going to take those, but I felt called to. And we have forgiveness and we have the divine masculine. That's exactly... Divine masculine and the masculine. Interesting here. What I shared in the beginning, when I was just talking about my own personal experiences, it's no coincidence that I'm called to share what I share, because as soon as I hit record, I start channeling. And sometimes I channel through my own experiences as you know, not only for myself, but for you guys to relate to, as stories, as anecdotes, to help understand the energy that we're experiencing here, to put it into real terms, so to speak. So when I shared this energy of forgiveness, that's what this feels like. It's not just forgiveness as in like forgive and forget. It's not just forgiveness as in like there's still some resentment or there's some fear underneath. It is pure forgiveness. It is pure release. It is pure love. And with the forgiveness here and the divine masculine, I feel like not only are you forgiving yourself for what you experienced on the journey, where you needed to love yourself more, where you needed to heal, but you're forgiving your masculine for being that mirror. And so that's where you guys can come together. That's where you come together into a new phase of your connection. Again, a conscious connection where you are working together now, not against each other, but for each other, having each other's backs, loving each other, supporting each other, encouraging each other in this sacred union. Because you understand that union, you understand each other, you're coming home to each other. All right, and let's get to end the reading, because I think we're going to end here. Let's get messages to each other. Nope, not that one. All right, message from the masculine to the feminine. Oh my gosh, just plain and to the point, I love you. It's like, don't forget that I love you. Your masculine might be afraid that you've forgotten them. You might be mirroring that as well. They might think that you've forgotten them and that you don't think that they love you. I want to spend my life with you. Wow. Divine feminine to the masculine, what do you want to say? Every road leads back to you. It always does. It always has. It's this energy of separation is an illusion. And if you look at the course of your journey with each other, and even if you go back past lifetimes, you always come back to each other. You're always led back to each other. It's just you have to get rid of the blocks within you. You have to get rid of that sabotage energy. You have to open yourself up to the love for each other and remember the love together. You have to remember the love that you have together. That's what this journey is about. It's about remembering love. Anything else, divine feminine to the masculine? You're my beloved, and we're never apart. She knows this. She knows this. It's difficult sometimes in the physical, but she knows this. And she feels this reunion energy. This, I have to say, you guys, this is surprising me. My ego is more accepting of this than it had been in the past. If you've listened to some recent Sacred Union energy updates, my ego is not like, this is bullshit, as it had been in the past. My ego is more accepting of this. My ego sometimes gets not in the way, but my ego is, as I'm channeling, I can't help what I'm saying. It just kind of spills out. But my ego in the back of my mind is kind of like, this isn't true. This can't be true because this is what I'm experiencing. This is what I'm seeing. And how is this even possible? But this is surprising me because this feels anchored in. My ego isn't questioning this anymore. And I feel like that's part of what I shifted, is that's part of the surrender. Like, this feels very, like, in one way, shape, or form, there's sacred unions that are taking place. In one way, shape, or form, there are sacred unions that are taking place, and that's where we surrender. This is surprising me. We haven't had this straightforward love energy. There had always been some kind of stubbornness or resistance in the past couple of readings, over the past couple of months. This feels like straightforward love for each other. This is really beautiful. We'll see what shifts, but I feel like this full moon is helping to facilitate a lot of that loving energy towards each other. And there might be some clearing of old energy that comes from this, but it really does feel like there's a lot of loving energy that's moving through here. It's beautiful. All right, you guys, that's going to be it. We might do some follow-ups after the full moon and see what has shifted. So make sure that you guys subscribe, make sure that you like to help boost the signal, make sure that you comment, let me know how this is resonating with you, and I'm sending you all so much love and so much light, and we'll see you next time. Bye.